Welcome to SilverC Review. This podcast will have an introduction, a movie review, a movie recommendation, some jokes and quotes, and then an Inside the Introvert section. So, all the times are listed down below. Feel free to skip around and listen to whatever you want to watch. Or I'm just gonna leave it like that. That was pretty cool. Gonna look at some movies I recently watched. The Meg, 6 out of 10. This one's a little bit fun to watch. The multiple Megs was kind of lame. Spoiler alert. And which it may show that in the trailer. I don't remember. I really like Jason Statham, so I mean that was probably the only reason I rated it so high. Definitely not in my collection, but not a terrible movie. The Darkest Minds, giving this one an 8 out of 10. This one caught me off guard. It was an excellent movie. I'm definitely adding this one to my collection. I loved the special effects in it. The storyline was good. The ending was a little bit weird. I couldn't really tell. I wouldn't say this is a spoiler, but I couldn't tell if she was controlling all of them at the end or not. That was a bit weird, and if that was the case, then I felt like that wasn't her character. And also this movie didn't really have any good guys. I mean, both sides were kind of bad, so I don't really know. But I mean, overall, I still really liked the movie. So the introduction on these next few are going to be kind of slim, and I'm also recording them out of order, so I'm getting all confused on what I need to say where. The later podcast where I talk about the Nutcracker, that's actually, I meant to say it in the video and I forgot. That's actually the area that I took the pictures that I used for my profile picture, I guess, and all my podcast and all my anywhere you see me will be like, I'm pretty sure I always use the picture of me holding a stick, and it's got like the top half of my body over here, or a top half over on the left and the bottom half like on the right hand side. But anyways, I took them back where I was taking that to the podcast, so I thought that was kind of neat. I've actually got several different ones. I'm going to switch to a different one whenever I do the Inside the Introvert, and then of course I've got a few others that, all these were ideas that I saw online and just replicated. That's what I do with a lot of my photography. But I just wanted to toss that out there. And these podcasts are going very quickly. It's odd. I mean, all my previous podcasts have been like 30 plus minutes, some of them like 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden these are like 17. Maybe it's because I don't know. I feel like I have roughly the same amount of stuff to say, so it's kind of confusing why these are going so fast. But this one can only last 32 minutes because that's all I've got left on my memory card. I'm recording these all in the same week, so like 4 podcasts and 2 introductions all in the same week on the same memory card. So if this video stops, I will know that it's just going to have to end there. I can't do anything about it. I could go back and delete all the little clips that I take to make sure I'm standing in the right area, but it'll be alright. This one shouldn't be any longer than all the rest of them. But yeah, these are the last videos I will be recording unless requested, and even then I highly doubt it's going to happen. So most likely these will be the last videos I ever record for this podcast. So we're going to go into the movie review. This one's going to be The Grinch. Giving this one a 4 out of 10. There will be spoilers, so if you are sensitive to having anything spoiled, be careful. There's a bridge behind me. I think I'm far enough away the sound won't be too bad, but I actually positioned it this way so you can kind of see the cars going across. Because I would love to always have something moving in the background, but it just rarely happened. Alright, so The Grinch. They definitely do a good job of making Whoville look very unique and interesting. Like each movie, it's always unique, so I thought that was kind of cool. Not really a fan of the new Grinch song, though. I really like the old Grinch song, the classic one, I guess you could say. And I'm pretty sure in the Jim Carrey version, they still use that song or something, or if they did, if they changed it, I liked that one. I did not like this one at all. Emotion eating scene was very funny. Laughed quite a bit during that. I actually had to look up who the narrator was because I was like, man, that sounds really familiar. and it's Pharrell Williams, so I should have known that. But that's kind of a weird choice for a narrator. I didn't actually care for it that much. I mean, I like his music, but him as a narrator, like I guess they were trying to make this movie like hip and cool for the new kids or the younger kids, the new generation. That's where I was going with that. But maybe I'm just getting too old, but I did not care for it. To be fair to the Grinch, I feel exactly like he does when I'm in stores before Thanksgiving and they have Christmas stuff out. It annoys me so much. I'm just like, nothing, like, I love Christmas. I fully decorate it. Oh man, I'm definitely not going to remember this, but hopefully I will. Here's a picture of my yard this year. And I'll put in a picture of my yard last year. Wonder how I can make a... I'll have to email myself right after this so I remember to put these pictures in, because I'll forget. But anyways, I really like decorating for Christmas. Mostly outside stuff. I've got this massive snow globe, which I've referenced in previous videos, or actually maybe later videos. That's as big as my Mini Cooper is, and it's, I don't know, I like the lights and the snow. Well, we don't really have much snow here, but I like snow in general. And people seem a little nicer around the holidays, even though it's way more busy and traffic is terrible. But in general, I really like Christmas. It's by far my favorite holiday. I'm not a big holiday person in general, but having it before Thanksgiving, having stuff out, just really crawls all over me. It drives me nuts. Any sort of music, anything like that. Like, just let us have Thanksgiving. Get until Thanksgiving, and then you can start putting stuff out. But it gets earlier every year, and I'm just like the Grinch. I'm like, once Thanksgiving's passed, I'm fine. So, was that a West Side Story reference whenever the carolers were doing their little dancing? Because they did their little, as they were walking towards him. I feel like West Side Story did that, so, or it did it first maybe. So, if that was a reference to that movie, that's pretty cool. Them making the massive ornaments was very neat. I had no clue what they were doing until they actually got to the tree and were hanging it up. I was like, oh, I see now. It's like, did they have big art projects or something? And then all of a sudden it made sense. That was really neat. I liked it. The goat was pretty funny. Glad they had him in there. The reindeer part was a little bit weird though. So he captures the one single reindeer, and there seems to be like tension between the reindeer and the dog, because the Grinch says it's the best coffee he's ever had when the reindeer makes it, and it just seemed like when they started doing that part of the movie, I was like, that's going to be a running theme, is the dog's going to have to compete with the reindeer for his attention. And then they become, like, the Grinch and the reindeer become friends. There's something moving around me that I keep hearing. I'm not sure if it's birds or like a field mouse or something, but so if you see me keep glancing over there, that's why. So anyways, the Grinch and the reindeer finally make friends, and they do like this big test run, and then he just lets them go. I'm like, what was the point of all that? I mean, that was, I don't know, it felt pointless. Like, I guess they were trying to be funny or something like that. I know later on he comes back, but it was just kind of annoying. I mean, even with him coming back, like, I guess they could have used it for that, or needed that for that part, but can you hear the crane taking off? They're very noisy. Or heron. I don't know which one. But anyways, did not really see the point in the reindeer and him just like letting him go like that. Like, what was the point of the test run? Now he's got to change everything, and I felt like it was just like a big time waster. The Grinch definitely has some fancy toys to steal stuff though. I don't remember him having quite that fancy of stuff in the other two movies. The original Grinch and the Jim Carrey one. I'm not sure if there's any others out there, but those are the only two that I know of, and I do watch them every single year. And of course, Cindy Lou's house just happened to be the last one that he's going to, and he just happens to break his rule at her house to eat a cookie. Thought that was kind of stupid. There's two squirrels fighting over there. Love the sound of squirrels make their little bark that they do whenever they're mad at you. Which I am glad that the reindeer did come back to save him, but if you notice in that scene, the cliff edge breaks whenever he's directly underneath it. I don't know how it was possible whatsoever for the reindeer to grab the rope, because the area where the rope was broke off and fell, so the rope would have been like way out away from the cliff, but somehow he grabs it, and the edge of the cliff would have hit them. They were directly underneath it. It just doesn't show it at all. So, I mean, I usually don't try to bring reality into a animated movie, but that was kind of over the top lame. Like, where did it go? I really did not like that he went back into the village and gave them their stuff and just walked away. That was such a... I mean, if they did in the movie right there, it'd be like a 2 out of 10. And luckily they kind of brought it back a little bit. Man, that was very annoying. In the other movies, he has a change of heart. He's still... This movie, he sort of had a change of heart, but he was still all sad and depressed and still needed a lot of help, and I don't know, it didn't feel like much of a change to me. And that's kind of the whole point of the movie, or of the story, I guess. And even the actual ending still felt a little silly. Like, it didn't land for me at all. She came back and got him. He goes to the house. Oh, he's a little bit nicer and he's helping people out now. And they're kind of like, oh, okay, he's here now. But they weren't like all welcoming or anything like that. Like, it was just like normal. It was like he was just supposed to be there. And technically that one family is the only one that saw him kind of be helpful and be a changed Grinch or a changed Whovian or whatever he is. So I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending, which in general I didn't care for the entire movie. But yeah, I'm definitely not adding this one to my Christmas watch list, which I say in a later podcast, but I have I'm gonna say 20 movies that I watch every single year at Christmas time. I mean, there's been years that I haven't seen every single one of them, but there's some that I make sure to watch every single year. And I try to get through them. Most of them are pretty short, and it's like Santa Claus, the other two, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Rudolph, what others? Drummer Boy, Mickey's Christmas. I may have some dog ones. I don't know. But anyways, I should do that. Oh, it's too late now. And by the time I do my January 1st or January 7th, whatever podcast, it'll be too late. I was going to list all my Christmas movies that I watch. Anyways, yeah, not adding this one, giving this one a 4 out of 10. If the other animated Grinch movie did not exist, this one would probably be pretty good. But the original animated Grinch movie is way better than this, and if they had made this movie just about a different subject, I feel like it would be a really good movie. But because they chose the Grinch and they didn't really add much new to the story, I see no reason to watch this movie over the original animated movie. That's going to be it for the movie review. We're going to go into the recommendation. This one is Joseph, King of Dreams. This is from 2000. This is an animated movie. I think I previously recommended The Prince of Egypt, and this is the exact same thing, but this one is Joseph. It is a religious movie, but you do not have to be religious to enjoy this movie. There's a lot of good messages and themes, and it's just fun to watch. It's by DreamWorks, as was the other one. 12 geese. Oh, I bet you saw them way before I saw them. Hopefully they flew over in that direction. That's cool, if they did. I didn't realize this, but two of the voice actors are Ben Affleck and Mark Hamill in this movie. The description is, a prophet who has the ability to interpret dreams is sold into slavery in Egypt, where people learn of his gifts. And it's essentially retells the biblical story of Joseph as chronicled in the book of Genesis, and that's pretty much it. Like, Joseph can interpret dreams and work with God, and he's gains power being with a pharaoh or whatever. I don't know. I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but it's still good, so I would definitely recommend watching it. I'm going to go on to the jokes and quotes. There's a lot of birds flying over. Okay, I'm at 15 minutes, so I'm doing good. So I was walking through a quarry the other day, and I said, man, that sure is a big rock. And my friend said, boulder. I said, okay, that sure is a big rock. I forgot to unplug it. Boy, couldn't get much. Ah, good grief. I forgot to unplug my stupid thing. Couldn't get much more delay than that. I accidentally went to bed last night with my contacts in, and my dreams have never been clearer. Alright. Oh, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore when I'm doing audio only. It's nice to have some mess-ups right at the end. I feel like I should be getting better at doing this, and I'm not. Quotes. If it's not making me money, making me better, or making me happy, then I don't have time for it. And this may seem cynical, but this is kind of the way you have to look at things. If it's not benefiting you in some way, then you really don't need it in your life. And I'm not saying you can't like help other people and it's got to be all about you. You can still gain lots of happiness from helping other people, and it can make you a better person by helping other people. But there are lots of things out there that don't do any of those things. It's not benefiting you financially. It's stressing you out. It's taking a lot of your time that you could be using to make yourself happy, and those are the kind of things you just don't need to be doing anymore. So part of being happy is controlling your own life as much as you can, and just trying to realize how things affect you. So try to be as aware as you can. The next quote: in any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing at all. And I can't remember if I've said this, but there's another quote that says the road to life is paved with flat squirrels that couldn't make a decision, something like that. And pretty much you just have to take action. You can sit around all day and worry about a decision that's coming up, but unless you're like researching, sorry, things keep falling down. It's really weird. Like, it's not that windy. I don't know. Maybe there's ghosts in the trees. The spirit of the trees are trying to attack me with acorns. I lost my train of thought. So you can sit around and worry all day about something, but it's not helping you, and it's just stressing you out. You need to take action, you need to do something. And even the smallest step, even if it's the wrong one, can still get you out in the right direction. And there's a guy I work for. That's my biggest complaint about him, is he just can't make decisions. And I'm like, let's do it, let's do something. And instead of just sitting around and talking about it and then never doing it, and it's like, we need to work on something. So I'm very much like to take action. I don't like to just sit around and not do anything. That's gonna be it for jokes and quotes. Inside the Introvert. I'm not sure if this is really introverted, but I really hate breaking the rules, and my girlfriend loves going into like no trespassing places. So much noise. And we went into one. There's a walking trail that I go to almost every day. It was every day. I get there as much as I can after work, just for 10 minutes, just to relax and soak in nature and everything. And there's a they work on like barges, and it doesn't get used very much, and there's no fence in between the walking trail and that area. The only way I even knew you're not supposed to be there is I went there one time, and then I looked at the gate as I was leaving. I was like, oh, no trespassing sign, great. And naturally, she wanted to go over there when we were walking the trail recently, and I was worried. I was maybe the introverted part of this is I don't like confrontation. Even if it was something as simple as them being like, you can't be over here, and we're like, oh, we didn't know then. and we go away. But I was constantly like looking around, seeing if anyone was coming at us, and I mean it was nice. We didn't get in trouble. No one really noticed, and I got to see this area that I've always seen from a distance, and because I was wondering if it like went deep underground, and it didn't go anywhere at all. But it's kind of nervous. I took a train ride recently, and I haven't rode on one of those since I was a baby, so definitely not something I remember. And I was super worried I was going to get motion sick, like, the entire time. And for an introvert, I'm constantly running scenarios through my mind of what happens if I do get motion sick. So I was looking around for, like, if there was a bathroom on the train, which I don't think there was a bathroom anywhere. And I thought maybe, I looked around, like, if I had to grab something to throw up in, or if I had to, like, use clothing or something like that. And I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to grab, and I was like, I wasn't like overly worried about it, but it was just on my mind constantly. And I glanced around like, oh, I could probably use that or maybe that, and then I'd run through like, what would it look like if I did happen to do that? Nothing happened. I didn't get motion sick at all, not even close, so everything was good. All those scenarios for nothing. That is what an introvert does. The last story, I got called to play the Plinko game in front of everyone again. And I've referenced it previously, and I'm kind of rebelling against the... Oh crap, is this the first time? Okay. This is the first time I'm talking about this. Apparently one of my later podcasts is when I talk about the second time I got called up. So, first time I got called up, Plinko's that little thing that you drop the disc and it bounces and goes to the bottom and lands in whatever hole. And I'm kind of rebelling against our vice president right now. Just for reasons, and so I'm part of the committee at work that handles like the parties and stuff, and she keeps doing things that are completely separate from us, and she won't help us out, and it's kind of annoying to try to help the morale of the company and have the vice president working against you. So that's part of the reason I'm rebelling. So I haven't gone up and watched their little game thing that they've been doing, so I had no clue how to play it or anything like that, and I didn't know what to aim at. So I get up there, and you have to actually walk up onto like a little stage to get high enough above the board thing. And so I ended up like just dropping it, not caring where it landed because I was just scared of being in front of everybody because lots of people were up there. And I ended up winning $25, so that wasn't too bad. The max you can win is like $75. And but man, my legs were shaking so bad when I got off that stupid stage. And as I've just said, later on, I got to play it a second time, so I guess you'll hear about that in a later podcast. Like I said, I'm recording these out of order, and it's really throwing me off. I didn't mean to record them out of order, I just forgot which movie I was going to do when, and didn't really think it mattered. It does. But that's going to be it for this video. So there's an intro video out there that kind of tells you more about my podcast. You can listen to that. All my videos are on YouTube that you can watch. All the older videos are on YouTube. MP3 gets uploaded to SoundCloud. I've got Instagram and Twitter you can contact me on, check out. And that's going to be it. So take care of yourself because there's only one you out there.